Alright, this is pt02 again, and this is part 2 of the Master Grade Shenlong Gundam version EW review. And I'm going to start off this part by going over the inner frame really quick. And if you've built the Master Grade Death Scythe or Death Scythe Hell, this should be pretty familiar because the inner frame is very, very similar. There are a few differences. Around here in the knee area is a bit different. The skirt armor is a little bit different. There's no chest piece with vents here on the torso. The backpack is different, obviously, and just a few other minor differences, but overall it's very, very similar to the Death Scythe. One really nice feature I like about this inner frame is that not only does the Dragon Fang have an inner frame, but even the shield has an inner frame to it, so I thought that was a pretty nice touch. So you can even do some of the signature poses with the Dragon Fang even when it's just the bare inner frame. So I think Bandai did a pretty good job on Shenlong's inner frame, and I might actually be willing to say that this is a slightly more well-engineered kit than Death Scythe. Not by much, because like I said, they are very similar, but I think Bandai might have done a little bit better job on this kit than they did with the Death Scythe. So if you're one of those people that's a fan of really nice inner frames on your kit, I think this might be a kit you want to consider, because this inner frame has got a lot to offer, I think. Alright, so at this point I have finished painting the kit, and this is what the final product is going to look like. So anyway, these are all of the decals that come with the kit, put pretty much in their designated placement. Although, just like with Death Scythe EW and Death Scythe Hell EW, they gave you some extra decals that they didn't give you instructions in the manual on where to put them, like this XXXG01S on the shoulder here. Actually, they suggested putting that one on the Dragon Fang, but I thought it would look nice on the shoulder there. And if you paid attention in the work in progress video, you might have noticed that I had the big XXXG01S decal going across the chest right there. And I put it on there, and about a day later I came back and looked at it, and I said, I'm just not really crazy about this decal. So I carefully removed that, and luckily I was able to remove it without damaging the paint job. I actually ended up using a pencil eraser to remove it. I didn't know that was going to work. I just happened to try it, and it just happened to work. So that was a lucky break. So anyway, I think the only real color change I did to this kit was up under the shoulder armor here. All of this originally was blue, because this little stripe right here was blue, so all of this under here was blue as well. I just painted that gray to look a little bit more mechanical. But other than that, I think I stuck to the original colors. Oh wait, one more thing. The green on the center of the chest. Originally that was red, but I figured since the TV version of Shenlong had a little green camera there, I figured why not paint it green on the Verka as well. Alright, so now let's take a look at Shenlong's weapons. Now, we've already taken a look at the Dragon Fang in part 1, so I'm just going to kind of skip over that since we've pretty much already covered it. Shenlong also comes with a shield, which I think looks very nice. It actually has kind of its own inner frame, which you saw earlier, and it has a little clip right here, which actually can rotate, and you get a hole on the side of the arm which it can clip into. Now, one thing I do want to note is that the hole for the shield and for the Dragon Fang are the same size, so I'm not sure if the shape of the thing is going to let it go on there, but I'm assuming you could switch the Dragon Fang from either side, as well as the shield. And actually, yes, you can do that. I just tried that out. The Dragon Fang doesn't fit quite as well on this arm. As you can see, it's flipped around the other side. But if you really want to, you can switch sides for it. Alright, and the other weapon that the Shenlong comes with is the beam trident. And just for proof, it's not a naginata or a glaive, it's actually a beam trident. So anyway, it's basically just two parts here, the main shaft, and then this part up here is two halves. And then the third part is the clear green effect part. Snaps on very nicely, stays in place, and it's got two little grooves right there and there. And just like on Death Scythe, you've got the pegs that are in the hands, which will allow you to hold the beam trident like so. Now, just like Death Scythe, unfortunately, because you've got that peg that goes into the groove, you're only going to be able to hold the beam trident one way. So you could take it out and rotate it to different angles, but he's not going to hold on to it quite as well if that peg isn't into that groove right there. One other thing you can do to it is, when in storage, you've got this little option part on the backpack. It's got the same peg that the hand does, and you can just fit the beam trident back there, and it fits in snugly and stays in place pretty well. And one last thing I want to do in this review is a couple of comparisons. First, I'm going to compare Shenlong to the 1:100 scale high-grade Nataku that came out in 1997. And as you can see, aside from the Dragon Fangs and the colors, they are quite different. This is a custom color scheme, by the way, if you haven't seen me review this kit already. And but as you can see, the head is very similar. The shoulders, the chest, the skirt armor, the legs, and the feet are all very similar with the exception of color. And the Dragon Fang is pretty much the only thing that's different. And of course, this review wouldn't be complete unless I compared the Shenlong Verka to its TV version counterpart. And aside from this slight size difference, you can see they do have a lot of similarities. And the color scheme is pretty much exactly the same. But this is basically just showing, you know, TV version versus the Endless Waltz version. As you can see, the shields have kind of a similar design, but a different stylistic quality to them. Whereas the Endless Waltz versions is more broken up, while the TV version is more solid. And the Dragon Fangs as well are quite a bit different, actually. And as you can see, the TV version has a slight length advantage over the Endless Waltz version as far as the Dragon Fang goes. However, the Endless Waltz version's Dragon Fang is like twice as big as the TV version. Plus, the Endless Waltz version can hold its Dragon Fang up with no problem, whereas the TV version, not so much. And lastly, here's a comparison of the TV version's beam glaive versus the Kotoki's beam trident. So I guess that about does it for the Shenlong Gundam EW review. My final thoughts on this kit is I really like this. Now, putting aside whether you prefer the TV version or the Kotoki version, or if you prefer Death Scythe over Shenlong, I actually think this is a more well-engineered kit than Master Grade Death Scythe. And that might be hard to believe because Death Scythe was a really good Master Grade, but I think Bandai did a little bit better job on this one. And hopefully that trend of improvement will continue when they eventually release Sandrock and Heavy Arms. So overall, There are a lot of good points about this kit. It looks fantastic. The proportions and the sculpting are very nice. I think the head is particularly well made. The color separation is great. The only part I had to paint a different color was the gray vents up under the shoulders. Honestly, I could have left that red, but I painted it green anyway. That was just personal preference. I think the Dragon Fang on this kit is really, really cool. It's got lots of points of articulation in it. It doesn't extend quite as far as the TV version, but I think it looks a lot cooler. Also, the Dragon Fang is probably the one and only downside to the kit. As I mentioned earlier, the connection to the arm is a little bit loose, and you've got to twist the arm upside down to have the Dragon Fang right side up. But then again, those are really just small nitpicks rather than actual flaws in the kit. So, again, those aren't going to be killing this kit at all. So overall, this kit, I think, definitely gets an A. So, if you like Shenlong or if you like Gundam Wing, definitely try to pick one up, I say. Or, if you prefer Endless Waltz, you might want to wait, maybe 6 months until the Nantaku comes out. It'll probably be even a better kit than this one. So, I guess that about does it for this video, and I will see you guys next time.